So I had intended of doing 2 individual reviews for both the one for the Colecovision Flashback and one for the Intellivision Flashback. But it turns out I'm kind of lazy and I didn't want to make 2 different videos, so here we go. Instead of 2 separate reviews, I'm going to do the Clash of the Flashbacks. I'm gonna add some awesome reverb to that. Anyways, instead of, like I had mentioned, reviewing each individual console, I kind of wanted to contrast and compare them a bit. I know a lot of you out there are probably gonna pick up both like I did, but I don't know, maybe you're out there thinking, I only want a Colecovision or Intellivision Flashback. Well, then you come to the right place, because by the end of this video, you will know which of the 2 I prefer. First up, I want to start out by saying that this isn't a comparison of the Intellivision and the Colecovision consoles. That's a completely different argument to be made, and one I'm not even qualified to make. So I'm merely comparing these units, the flashback units, the controllers that are included with the flashbacks, and the games that come preloaded with the system. So let's just jump right into it then. I've got a few different categories that I kind of want to compare before finally getting into my verdict on which one of them is better than the other. And first I want to start with the console design. I had mentioned in my Colecovision unboxing video, Colecovision Flashback that is, that it kind of looks cheap. It's got this cheap looking sticker on the top of it. It's really just this ugly all black matte finish, and I'm really not a fan of it. Maybe it does reflect the look of the console, the original one, but in that case, the original console looked like crap too. So obviously that leads me over to the Intellivision Flashback with its gorgeous faux wood paneling on the front end of the console and the awesome but atrociously ugly dark beige that makes the base of the console and the controller that, you know, there's everywhere in the 70s and 80s. And then of course the gold finish to complement that on the top of the console and on the number pad and dial pad on the controller. Just beautiful. Absolutely 100% from the early 80s. I love it. Anything with wood grain automatically wins over plain matte black plastic. I can talk, I swear. So, round 1 of the Clash of the Flashbacks with a definitive victory is the Intellivision Flashback. For the next category will be, I'm going to do Best Controller, and obviously, as you can see, these controllers look and they honestly feel very similar in a lot of ways. And with that said, they both feel like crap and both frankly work like crap. I'm sorry to, like I said, I'm not nostalgically attached to either of these. I didn't have them growing up. Obviously, I'm too young to have had these as a young kid. So this is a completely objective take on this, and I think they're both awful controllers. They feel uncomfortable. I mean, just this is just not how I think games should be played. Your wrist cramps up after 10 minutes of playing a game like, you know, say Astro Smash with the Intellivision. You have to hit this little dial button in the middle and press the side buttons. It's just so uncomfortable and clunky and gross, and I hate it, frankly. The Colecovision, to me, feels even less responsive than the Intellivision. This joystick on top just feels so cheap, and like I said, it just doesn't respond. It makes games like Pepper 2 where you need really precise control. You need your character to turn the second you press the fucking joystick to turn, and it just doesn't respond. And it frankly makes many great games that I feel would be great unplayable. I don't know if the original was any better than this, but this controller frankly sucks ass. I'm not a fan. I really had a hard time playing a lot of games on the Colecovision Flashback because of it, because it's just so unresponsive. I just didn't like it. The Intellivision, similar design. I did like the disc a little better. It is a little more responsive. Still, it is kind of a weird concept that I think, obviously, it's really exclusive to this console. Nobody else ever tried to imitate it, which is a good thing because I think the disc is horrible, but it's better than the Colecovision joystick by a mile. One thing I did notice too, and I thought this might have been a defect of the controller, but it turns out the originals were like this after doing some research. You can't press a button on the number pad and a direction on the dial at the same time, which is extremely stupid. I don't know why that limitation was built into the first one even. You know, I'm sure there are reasons, but to me, you redesign the controller if that's the reason, because in games like Body Slam Pro Wrestling, you want to run a direction and do a clothesline. Well, you can't. You have to let go of the dial pad and then press the button. It's extremely stupid and annoying, and I hate it. So therefore, the winner in the clash of the flashbacks between the Colecovision Flashback and the Intellivision Flashback in terms of its controllers is the Atari 2600. Timeless, one button, pretty responsive joystick, works well, it's timeless. I'm sorry, I can't give either of these a victory here because they both suck. Sorry, they do. Atari wins. On to the next category. This one is a little hard to determine the winner of. A lot of it comes down to personal preference and limitations of licensing. So let me start off by saying that the Colecovision Flashback unfortunately doesn't have a lot of the games that it was known for, which is it's not the fault of the manufacturers at all. It's just licensing. Obviously, the big one people think of when they think of the original Colecovision is Donkey Kong, which was bundled with the game, or with the system, excuse me, when it was first released. Obviously, Nintendo's not going to license out Donkey Kong for this, cheap little toy that they, sell at dollar stores. It is the way it is, and it really stinks. I'd really like to play that game because all of you know I love Donkey Kong, one of my favorite games ever. And the Colecovision is, regarded as one of the best. And just, it was a system that really was known for a lot of arcade ports, and just most of them aren't here. And like I said, not the fault of the manufacturers, excuse me. It does have a few gems on it. Miner 2049er I really do like. Kind of a fun Lode Runner-ish style platformer in a way. Kind of, not really. I don't know. That's just what popped into my head. But a fun game. It does have some really cool homebrews. There's like a shoot 'em up, like a robot shoot 'em up on there. I think it's called Mecha 8 or something. The name escapes me, but that game is really fun. So I do like the homebrew titles on this, but overall the edge on this one goes to the Intellivision. I mean, obviously they're missing a lot of their licensed games too, but luckily for the Intellivision, a lot of the great Intellivision games were made by the Blue Sky Rangers, the in-house Mattel programmers, and there's just so many great... Fucking cat. Get down, you son of a bitch! Anyways, so many great games. Utopia really stuck out to me. It's a game I actually owned. I somehow ended up with it in a grab bag. I actually have it right here. Utopia. I really loved Utopia. It's very much an early Civilization type of game. A lot of fun. It really kind of amazed me how complex. I mean, it doesn't seem complex now, but for early 80s, late 70s, depending on which date you're going off of hardware, really impressive. Just a lot of other great games too. I really enjoyed games like Night Stalker and Space Hawk. Games I'd played before in other systems, but still liked. A lot of good sports games here. The Intellivision really, goes back to the George Plimpton ads. Had the better sports games of the generation compared to even the ColecoVision and of course the Atari 2600. I mean, obviously with more buttons, it's just going to be a lot better. I found myself playing the Intellivision a lot more than the ColecoVision, unfortunately. I was more excited about the ColecoVision, given it's a system I don't have much experience with. Hoping to uncover some new things, but it just didn't work for me, really. So, games, again, going to the Intellivision Flashback on this one, but with a little bit of an asterisk, being that just some of the licensing couldn't be done for the ColecoVision, which is unfortunate, but understandable. On to the next category then, best support for the system. This one's not even close if you ask me. The Intellivision Flashback, surprise, is really being supported well by, like I mentioned before, the alma maters. No, that's not the right word, but the old Blue Sky Rangers people are really backing this up really well. Obviously, Keith Robinson runs INTV Corp, I believe, which is the company that still owns the Intellivision property, and they have all the manuals for all these games online. They're gonna allow you to go and buy overlays for every single game eventually, which is really cool. I will definitely be picking that up because a lot of these games, while they actually do have in the manual, which I didn't point out before, they have scans of every single controller overlay, which is really nice. You know, even the games that don't come with one, you still have access to it and can see what does what. But a lot of the games really aren't playable still without seeing the original manual. And every single game on the Intellivision Flashback has the manual available online at Intellivisionlives.com. So I got to give best support to that, and they're really good about answering fan feedback and, you know, whatnot. I couldn't find anything on the Colecovision Flashback. I don't even know if there's an actual like Colecovision website. I didn't look that hard, but I didn't see anything. And I think even with a cheaper re-release like this, support is still really important, especially in the retro community. Having people that are out there willing to support these aging, you know, type of products is really cool to me. So I think that also, you know, that should be part of the factor when considering purchasing one of these two. And the last and most important category before revealing the final winner, I think you can probably guess where it's going by now, so it won't be much of a surprise. But the last category is which console is better to drink with. I know a lot of you are like me, and you like to have a few drinks when you play your games. You have some friends over. I mean, it's just the way it is. That's an important thing to me. And again, with the clean sweep, except for the Atari, if you're going to count that, is the Intellivision. Lots of great two-player games. I mean, you put on Utopia, you have a few cocktails, there might be fist fights breaking out, and, you know, that sounds awesome to me. Lots of great sports games, like I'd mentioned, so best to drink with, the Intellivision Flashback. I'm not going to waste your time. The better of these two is the Intellivision Flashback. Just a lot better games, marginally better controller, still kind of a piece of shit if you ask me. But that's the way the original is, so I can sort of deal with it. Better support, and it just looks better. Wood grain. Wood grain always beats pretty much anything. You have to have a lot if you're going to overcome not having wood grain like the Colecovision. So there you have it. That's kind of a general overview of the two systems, at least for now. I'm going to be still doing a lot of content on these. When I get some more hardware that I can use to actually capture these games, I don't have a way to capture video that's just output via a composite video. I don't have a way to do that, so that'll be coming eventually. But for now, you can kind of take what I've given you and go out there and make your decision whether you're going to buy one of these or not. I honestly, if you're a hardcore retro collector like I am, I would go get both just for the novelty of it. But that said, if you're not super hardcore about this kind of stuff like I am, I'd wait. I'm guessing there will at least be another Intellivision Flashback like the Atari Flashbacks. They've had, you know, newer editions come out. I think they're up to like 5 or 6 now. So I'd wait for an Intellivision Flashback 2, you know, possibly, you know, more games, better controller perhaps, especially if they make another one of these. They have to do better if they're going to do another Colecovision Flashback. Really try to get those licensed games. I know it's hard. I understand why they can't. And hopefully make the joystick better, because honestly this joystick makes the thing damn near unplayable to me. So there you have it. Clash of the Flashbacks 2014. The victor is the Intellivision Flashback. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. And as always, stay classic.